What's the latest technology available for HDMI cables? Our next guest is the Vice President of Consumer Electronics for a company called Perfect Path. And we've had you on the show before. Welcome back into tomorrow. Eric Bodley, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Dave. Thanks for having me back.
I think we met up in, was it Cedia?
Cedia.
Yes, we were just back from Germany and racing around and part of our 8-week road trip that we're still recovering from. But the fact is there was some neat stuff that we talked about involving HDMI and what you guys are doing. So what has happened since then? What's new and the latest in HDMI?
Well, at Perfect Path, we launched our new locking HDMI connector at Cedia, and we were waiting for an announcement which came out yesterday from the HDMI licensing group that the 1.4 standard for high-definition multimedia interface was approved, the testing spec. So we're now proud to announce that at CES we'll be unveiling the newest HDMI technology with Ethernet channel along with our locking technology.
Very good. And since we have the video capability that I don't think we were doing at Cedia because it was one of them quickie trips, can you show our audience on camera just how effective your Perfect Path cables are?
Sure.
Because you brought yet another heavy device. Oh. And of course the big problem for those who perhaps aren't quite as familiar yet with HDMI is they're great because they carry audio and video and they're wonderful technology, the latest, greatest for high def. But they fall out a lot.
They do, and this is a standard HDMI cable, which is the construction that all other companies use. And when you go to put this in the back of your HDMI player, if you bump it or wiggle it, it'll come right out. So our new locking technology from Perfect Path has a patented locking mechanism that when it does go into the DVD player or set-top box, you slide the shelf forward, and it'll allow you to actually pick the product up. You don't have to worry about the power pin wiggling loose from side to side, and it's just as easy to get it out. You just pull backwards on the shelf, and it moves back and forth so that it locks in place.
Because you wouldn't think of holding any device up with its HDMI cable because it wouldn't, except for the Perfect Path.
Well, exactly. But what happens is with so many cables behind a system, and when you move the products, my son took his Xbox 360, wanted to plug it in somewhere, he disconnected something from the back. So we're, all the products we have, including locking HDMI, locking RCA, we've developed the best way for the longest lasting connection. And low service calls. You don't have to have a technician come back in.
I think of you every time since we first spoke back at Cedia in Atlanta a few months ago because of the rat's nest I have behind my TV area. Of course, we're testing products all the time and reviewing things. And we wonder what happened to that signal. Well, it's because the HDMI cable fell out because we're moving things around. And that wouldn't happen with your cables.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
so I need to think of you more frequently and say, where are those locking cables we'll have to talk about? So no doubt that's what's unique about them. Now, is there any degradation in quality or anything in order to make a cable such as this?
Absolutely not. It fully conforms with the HDMI specification, and it includes the newest 1.4 technology, which includes the new 3D TV standard. It includes the new Ethernet channel, which will allow you to network all of your components together all through the HDMI cable.
And how much more of a premium does it add to buying the cable?
Not really a lot. In fact, they're priced right in the middle of the most expensive cables and the lowest priced cables, all of which don't have locking technology.
And while you might not need this for every connector, I mean, you might have some more secure things or some devices that don't ever move or you don't adjust. Fine, you don't need to use them. I'm sure you'd like them to be used everywhere. But realistically, I'm sure that a lot of your customers are saying, I've got to have them for this and this and this, for sure, and then otherwise deal with it. So.
Well, they're affordable enough from $40 up to $80 for a 4-foot or 8-foot cable. So, they're right in the price range where you'd expect to pay for standard performance, and you get high-performance HDMI, locking connectivity, all at a reasonable price.
Well, check out the demo on the video for this weekend show page at intotomorrow.com, and of course perfectpath.com will get you even more information.
Absolutely.
And available at your site and or some retail stores nearby you.
All around the country. In fact, we just announced our partnership with the Digital Delivery Group, which is a group of distributors for installers and retailers around the country. Excellent. And we also have direct dealers as well.
Excellent. Well, Eric, thanks for joining us here at the press preview for CES in New York.
Thank you, Dave.